What if I wore a sword as a hair decoration?
Femme fatale.
Yeah. This video is already going off the rails.
Was it ever on the rails?
So in today's video, I'm gonna share a dirty little secret with you guys. And that secret is that I have pretty much never in my entire life finished a book series. I don't know what my problem is, but I definitely read the first books in a lot of series. I sometimes read the second books, and then I pretty much never read the third or beyond that. So in today's video, I want to show you guys some of my favorite series that have started, or most popular series that have started that I haven't finished or continued, and I want your opinions on which ones I should continue with, if they're worth it, if they're not, if I should feel guilty about not finishing them sooner, or if I should be pleased with myself and do whatever I want. That didn't make sense, but I know what I mean. I've admitted before in an Instagram post as well that one of the reasons I don't complete series is because the way I set up my books, I keep all of my completed series on separate shelves, and I've run out of space for those, so I don't buy the third or beyond books in the series so that I don't have to transfer them from my regular shelves to my series shelves, which I know is a stupid reason to not read books. Hi. Okay, so let me put my camera on the tripod, but I want you guys to know that there's some criteria for the books I'm talking about today. For the purposes of this video, the books need to be adult fantasy specifically. So not sci-fi, not young adult, not horror, or anything like that. We're doing adult epics. There need to be currently at least 3 books in the series. There can be more, and it can also be unfinished, but there need to be at least 3 books. And I have to have read at least one of the books. So I'm not going to be including stuff like Lycanius, which I really want to read. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the series because that's just who I am, but I haven't even started it, so it's not included on this list. I feel like the lighting sucks right now. Okay, I came all the way over here and sat down, but I don't even have the books with me yet. We're gonna start with a fan favorite. I joined a buddy read for this series, and it was supposed to be like of the whole series. And I got through most of book 1. So I'm already breaking my own criteria because I said I had to have read at least 1 book. I've almost finished this book 2 times. I've attempted it. Ryan, I think, read it all the way through. No, Ryan also attempted it but did not finish it. I don't know why. I don't know why, because it's really good and it's totally my style. It's Malice by Gwynne, which is the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen quartet, quadrilogy, whatever you want to call it. They're all here. This is a series that everybody owns whether they've read it or not because it just looks really nice in pictures, and that's why I originally bought it. But I joined a read-along, got most of the way through book 1, was really enjoying it, but then I just kind of fell off. I don't know, it's really great, and I love Gwynne. I love the Bloodsworn series. I also own the follow-up trilogy to this that I only recently discovered is actually in the same world as this, but the, you know, Time of Dread, etc., etc. Do I give them a 3rd try? I can't even make it through book 1, so how am I gonna make it through 4 books plus a potential follow-up trilogy? I know that everybody loves Ruin. The 3rd book is like the best, but that's the 3rd book, guys. That's a lot of reading. In the same sort of vein of long ass books and series that I've almost finished the first one of, we have the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I'm listening to the audiobook of The Way of Kings, and I've only got 7 hours left of like 60. There are currently 4 books in the Stormlight Archive. The 5th one's coming out soon. Yeah, I don't know. Plus, you know, with the fucking Cosmere, so I have to read all the other ones too if I get going on this series. I know that's not actually a requirement, but I would feel obligated. Alright, Sander fans, tell me if this is worth it. This is Ryan's favorite series ever, so he says I must read it or we're getting divorced. Okay, next one is a less popular series, but it's one that I actually enjoy more, and I have finished the whole first book, guys. It's The Pariah by Anthony Ryan, and classically me, I own the whole trilogy. The Traitor, which is the 3rd book, just came out last month. Doesn't that look so nice together? The second book is a little taller than the other two, and I don't like that. The Pariah was fantastic. This is one of those books that has just never left my brain, despite the fact that I read it, I think 2 years ago now. I still think about it like on the daily. If you haven't read it, it's very good, quite underrated. And this is the thing. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because I adored The Pariah. I am excited for The Martyr and The Traitor. Am I gonna read them? I don't have plans to anytime soon, even though I was totally enthralled by the first book. What's wrong with me? Maybe that's the actual purpose of this video. Help identify what the heck is wrong with me and help me overcome my issues. Comment below what you diagnosed me with. One of the first series I started when I got back into reading a few years ago was The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I read all of the first one, The Poppy War. I haven't read any of her other books, so no Babel, no Yellowface, nothing else for me. Bought the whole trilogy. I've heard that the third book kind of goes off the rails, which sounds cool. I really liked book one. It was one of the only books, and still to this day, one of the only books that actually like made me uncomfortable, like unsettled me. I've mentioned in other videos, I'm not a squeamish person. Books are falling. I'm not a squeamish person. I don't get upset by things in books. I don't really have trigger warnings to look out for. But The Poppy War kind of got to me. Really messed up stuff happens in this book. I won't say specifically, just go read it and figure it out. What's happening out there? But this series is so far off of my like radar of finishing a series that I don't know if I'll ever get there. I haven't even heard that much hype for the other books in the series. People love Babel. I say Babel, I don't know, Babel. People love The Poppy War, but no one is like, oh my gosh, you have to read The Dragon Republic, you have to read The Burning God. I've never heard anyone say that. So similarly is the Locked Tomb trilogy, Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth, Nona the Ninth, and then the upcoming Alecto the Ninth. They kind of, you know, tricked us there. They were like, hey, this is a trilogy. And then they were like, just kidding, read Nona. We added that one in for fun. I've read Gideon, loved it, 5 stars. It was so fun. Necromancers solving puzzles in space. Amazing. If you've read past book 1, you know that Harrow the Ninth is very different than Gideon the Ninth. It's written in an entirely different way, a different format, and I've not heard good things. And then I've heard mixed things about Nona. People love Nona as a character, but I've not heard anyone being like, oh my god, you have to read Nona. And despite the fact that Harrow was my favorite character from the first book, I don't know if I'm interested in reading a whole book from her perspective based on what I've heard about the second book and the way it's written. The final series I am going to talk about is another current favorite. I don't know what's going on, but everyone's reading or rereading this series right now. I have read Red Rising. I read it when it came out in 2012 or whenever it was, 2013. I only own Red Rising, and then the third book, Morningstar, I got this one from a thrift store. I just forgot words. I don't own anything else in the series. I think the reason people are rereading it right now is because Lightbringer just came out. Is that the last book in the series? I don't know. There's 100 books in this series now. Okay, there's like 6. There's not that many. There's like 6 books in the series now. Was Red Rising fantastic? Yes, I loved it. Am I going to continue the series? Apparently I should. Everyone's raving about it. Everyone is saying that Golden Sun, the second book, is way better than the first one, and that they only improve as you go on. It falls off a bit later on in Iron Gold and the other one, the something. But the original trilogy is apparently really good. I think if I had to, this would be the most likely series I would continue, but I would have to reread Red Rising because it has been over 10 years since I read it, and I was a teenager when I read it, and I'm pretty sure I picked it up off of the fact that it used to be categorized as teen or young adult, and it's compared to the Hunger Games. We all know now that that is a not totally correct comparison. Yes, similar like dystopian worlds. It literally on the front says Ender, Katniss, now Darrow. Do we want to be compared to Katniss and Ender? No. Those are the options though. We've got Malice by John Gwynne, aka The Faithful and the Fallen. We've got Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. The Covenant of Steel by Anthony Ryan. That was the Pariah, the Martyr, and the Traitor. The Poppy War series by R.F. Kuang. Locked Tomb trilogy, quadrilogy, quartet, whatever it's gonna be, by Tamsyn Muir. And then Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Does Red Rising have a series name, or is it just the Red Rising series? Oh my gosh, even listing those feels like too much. There's too many things to read. I just love picking up new books. For some reason, reading a sequel doesn't feel like a success or a triumph to me. Only starting new things counts as reading. Why? Why do I feel this way? Why do I do this to myself? I'm missing out on so many good books. Oh my gosh. So the point of this video was to ask you guys which of the series I mentioned is the one I should read next. I'm not gonna listen to the answer. Maybe I will. I think the answer is gonna be Stormlight because people freaking love Brandon Sanderson. He is a god. The answer could also be Red Rising or Faithful and the Fallen. I think those are the top 3 contenders for the books that people are gonna freak out over the most. And honestly, I think those are the ones I actually want to read the most. So that's a good thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I need to put all these books away. They're really heavy. And before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell icon so you know when I upload new videos. I upload 3 days a week. I love you guys. Goodbye. And I just want to make a quick note here that Pierce Brown is the hottest man alive.
Okay, now we're done.